How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Off the Grid. So, I have been a little bit busy off camera, and I've been working on our new road. So in the previous episode, we got a sort of a pathway figured out, but it definitely needed quite a bit of work to have it basically more level, so that we can drive there with our tractors and eventually combine and things like that without them tipping over. So I got the road to a point where it's usable, and I think it's fine just the way it is. I don't think I'm gonna mess with it too much. It's definitely not perfect, but it'll do. It's a little bit bumpy in certain areas, but it's about as good as I can get it. So coming up here is pretty decent, and then through here was quite a bit of work. It's a bit bumpy over here, but it is nice and flat, so we can come down here quite easily down to our field, which is fantastic. So yeah, it's not a road that we're going to be traveling a huge amount, so I was going to spend a massive amount of time on it, but yeah, it's just there to be able to access this road with our equipment in a safe manner. So the plan for today is we are going to be seeding this field. Now I think I'm going to be putting wheat into that field, and after that we're going to have to roll that field as well, so we'll get that done as well. But when we're done with that, we don't really have much to do. Oh, by the way, the bit over there of our crop that is destroyed, I was busy over here with the Ford, busy on the road, and I got out of the Ford and rolled backwards into the field. I didn't even notice. I just found it down there. So we lost a little bit of crop down there, but not a big deal. It was quite comical to find the tractor down there, because it did actually roll down a decent bit. But yeah, so when we're done with the seeding and rolling, there's not going to be much for us to do. So I think we might end up skipping ahead a little bit, maybe skipping into April, because that would... Oh, that's in manual mode. There we go. If we skip into April, that'll hopefully give us one more growth stage on our grass field, and I think then it'll be sort of at maximum length, and then we can mow that and row it, collect it, and get it into the silage bunker, compact it down, and then we can cover that up, and we'll be making silage. Well, we'll have silage then in about 4 to 6 weeks, I think it normally takes. So yeah, that is kind of the plan, but we'll see how that all turns out, whether we have the time for it or not. So yeah, we are gonna be doing wheat on that field, just because currently we do have a small wheat field. Our very first grain field was wheat, or is wheat. We haven't actually harvested it yet, but I do want to build up a bit of a stockpile. Now, we are probably not going to be going on with this series for many more episodes. We sort of touched on that briefly in the previous episode, but if I were to carry on with this series longer, then I would probably do the same thing. I would grow wheat on that new field, and we have wheat in here, and we have barley over here, so we would have plenty of food for the chickens and the pigs in terms of grains. So after that, the next rotation after that, I'll probably end up doing cash crops like canola or soybean or something down that line. So that would sort of be my thought process if I were to go that route. Unfortunately, I don't think we are actually gonna get to that point, but yeah, I think that would have been sort of a good plan. But anyway, let's get this lowered down, and we'll get some seed in the ground. I did notice that we're starting to run a little bit low on fuel. I mean, not too bad, but this thing does go through fuel pretty quickly, so I just need to keep an eye on that. I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal. We can just bring the trailer down here if we do run out, but yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it, try and not run out. Maybe after seeding I'll fill it up before we do the rolling, because I'll probably forget if I don't. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really nice field. I'm looking forward to seeing this field when the crop actually starts to grow. I think it's going to be visually a very nice field, And also, I think it's going to be good in terms of yield because it is pretty big. I'm pretty sure this is our biggest field so far. It looks like it on the map anyway. So, yeah, that is good. The other thing that we're going to have to do, though, is we're going to have to build some sort of crop storage. And I don't know where to do that yet. So we'll have to look into that. We don't have immense amount of space on this property. And that's what sort of made this so fun for me anyways. You have to get quite creative in terms of your fields and your planning and your buildings and all of that, because you are quite limited in usable space. We've got plenty of space, but just not usable space. So yeah, we're gonna have to find a good spot for us to put some form of a silo for crop storage, and we're gonna have to do that relatively soon. And then of course a combine is gonna be necessary very soon, so we'll start looking into that maybe today, otherwise in the next episode, because we are gonna need that very soon, but we shall see. But yeah, I think what we'll do is we are going to jump into a quick time lapse. We'll get the rest of the seeding done here, and then we'll get the roller hooked up, and we'll get the rolling done as well. And yeah, then we'll probably jump ahead into April and see how the grass fields are doing, and hopefully they are sort of at maximum growth, and we can start work on that. Whether we'll get through all of that, I'm not sure. Probably not. But we'll do as much as we possibly can, and maybe if things go quick enough, then we could get it all done today, but we shall see. But we are going to jump into that time lapse, so for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, so that is seeding done, and rolling is done as well, and we have skipped ahead into April. So the field that we just planted or seeded has actually started growing, so we're going to have to get some fertilizer onto that real soon. But first, we are going to be doing some mowing, and I have decided to buy a brand new mower. So this is uncommon for this series. Generally, we buy second-hand equipment, but I decided to pull the trigger on this lovely 4.4 meter mower that we are gonna test out. So, yeah, just a nice upgrade from the mower that we had, or still have. We still have it, but that was the mower that we were using at first with the little Massey, but eventually we moved it onto the Ford just because it was working a little bit better. Let's get this into reverse. There we go. But yeah, I think it was time for an upgrade, and I think this was a good choice. It's a little bit big for a small field like this, but I think for our other field it'll be absolutely perfect. And I still do kind of want to combine this field with the wheat field next to it here. And I think when that field is harvested, we will actually go ahead and do that. But yeah, for now, we are just sort of working with what we've got. Like I said, I think this will be a bit more comfortable on our bigger grass field. But this is doing a fantastic job, though. Very happy with it. $18,000, not exactly cheap. But yeah, I think it's a good investment. At least it feels like it so far. Yeah. And it actually works really well on the Ford. I'm quite surprised. Well, I mean, the Ford has got a little bit over 100 horsepower, if I remember correctly. And this only requires about 80 horsepower to run. But it does seem quite heavy. And the Ford is coping with it pretty well. Because Ford is not a big tractor by any means. Oh. Not getting it into gear. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, the Ford is quite a small tractor, so not a lot of weight there. And this is a lot of weight that's sort of sitting off the one side. So yeah, I'm happy that it's not just tipping our tractor over on its side. That would be a pretty bad day. But yeah, this is going very well indeed. It's going to make this whole process a lot quicker. I would also kind of like to get a better rower, but I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money in one go. So I think we'll just stick with the rower that we have currently got. And maybe just change the way that we row a little bit. I'm going to see if I can do it differently, because normally I would sort of combine two rows to create a single row. And makes collecting a little bit easier, but I want to see if I can sort of run a pattern where I can actually combine even more rows, so that it makes collecting just a lot quicker. So that is kind of the plan, but we'll have to see whether I can actually do that. But I think for now we are gonna jump back into a time lapse, and we'll get the rest of the mowing done here. This field should go pretty quick. It's a nice upgrade on the working width. I think the other one is only about 2.5 meters. This one is about 4.5, just under 4.5. So yeah, nice upgrade. Definitely makes things a lot quicker. But yeah, we are gonna get this done real quick, and then we'll get the rowing and the collecting done as well. Probably won't do the compacting today, but we'll at least get everything into the silo bunker. But yeah, we are going to jump into that. So for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, so that is mowing and rowing complete, and I was gonna collect today as well, but I don't want the time lapses to get too long, so we'll leave that for the next episode, which will actually work out alright, because we are gonna have to get fertilizer onto this field anyway, and we have to get fertilizer onto our new wheat field back here. So I think what we'll do is at the start of the next episode, we'll do all of the collecting, get that into the bunker, and then we can do fertilizer spreading on both fields. And yeah, we don't have to do fertilizer spreading on the small field over here, because we will probably end up plowing that in, because we want to join these two fields and get rid of this little road over here once this is harvested. So that is kind of the plan, so I'm not going to waste fertilizer on that. I would love a slightly bigger rower though. I was trying some different ways of rowing this up to make collecting easier, but yeah, just with the size of it, it doesn't work out too well. So yeah, maybe not a bad idea to keep an eye out for something like that, but we shall see. But yeah, I think we will leave it there for today. Quite a successful day, I would say. And yeah, hopefully we can continue on with that momentum in the next episode. But we are going to leave it there for today. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you all next time.